What have we done? We just sit down sometimes and play, and wherever it takes us. Like, since some of you know, Uriel and you guys there, you've seen us work in the classes in a little bit, but we really do it for long periods of time. That entire middle section, when the bass line stopped, is pretty much all improvisation. Right? So free improvisation, you find the core of your sound.
Being uninhibited with the music, just being able to just open your mind and just follow the music. I think that's the biggest lesson I learned from Ray.
We travel around the world pretty much. A lot of America, a lot of Europe, the Caribbean. We've done a lot in the Caribbean already. And they found out that we teach. We do all these workshops for anything from elementary schools until advanced college graduate levels. And so we've been just here having an amazing time discovering the talent, because there's so much talent on this island. It's crazy. It's crazy. Today we were, I forgot the name of the school we were at, because it was our fourth school that we've been to, and the high school in Red Hook.
Ken.
Yeah, there we go. And it was a fantastic band. They played, it was a concert band, and they played Rossini, the overture to Barber of Seville. And they're already doing amazing things with the conductor. It's amazing what the kids did, but then a little bit of coming in from a different perspective, how fast they were to adapt to what we did. So it's kind of amazing. No matter what, there's talent. Because I grew up in Trinidad, and we had nothing like this. As far as my knowledge, when I was that age, when I was middle school, high school, we didn't have any of that. So I mean, to see something at this level, I was kind of like so proud of the Caribbean. Being from the Caribbean, we're all as one in a way. We have our little islands, but it felt really fulfilling to see that growth in a short period of time, and to see the beautiful things that are happening on this island.
But we want the audience to really just be like super involved in like what's happening. Then the communication really needs to happen particularly in these like solo sections. So one more time, and really now I encourage you to get challenge them to really like make them follow you. And so a little bit of advice, you can probably play a little more. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Yeah, I was gonna ask a question to auxiliary brass during his solo.
Yeah, the next
Can y'all hear what he's playing? That's not a good thing. I know. It's when you guys do play, not this chorus, but really that's very important. No matter what room you're in, you have to hear him, the chamber music element of it. But we'll get to that.
When you guys are in those small ensembles, if there's a bass solo or whatever, and you're like, you're playing too much drums here. This is like a lot like you're doing, but maybe we can work on this balance, so it's not like too much. Or I want more piano in this section. I want more support in my solo. So those are the times when you guys are doing that. You can take the time to talk about those things and like what you want, because it's okay if your partners aren't necessarily doing what's in your mind or how you envision the solo musically going or following you. Just stop, say something, and it's totally cool. So like, what'd you think about that?
We kind of went in the same direction, and then when he steps off rhythmically, his rhythmic value slowed down. I kind of try to follow that.
Great, yeah. Talk it out. What about you?
Once I got into it, I noticed Howard was really paying attention to where it is I was going when I was getting a little bit more aggressive. Even Uriel as well, I heard him emphasized a little bit. Yeah.
So that type of thinking is the stuff that you wanna, because that's what's gonna separate you. Once you're out of school and in the real world or whatever, listening and those, obviously the actual notes themselves are important, and learning all the licks and all the stuff, but listening and adapting and being able to change like it's great to go to a place like this and teach like a high school day of like 100% like black kids who are like playing the hell out of their instruments and also like asking like super thoughtful, intelligent questions and like concerned about their futures and just like, you know, trying to listen and better themselves on, you know, in the classroom session, like we just hear, we're just, you know, better themselves in this musical world, but also like, you know, things beyond that. And you can always very clearly see that as any kind of educator, like, you know, where someone's head is, you know, what they're thinking outside of the instrument, because that's a small world. It's this big world we live on.
I was very impressed about the level of talent that's here compared to, you know, we travel all around. We travel all around the States. We travel around Europe, you know, Asia and all that. But something is very special about this place. These are very, very highly skilled musicians, students here. And I wish the rest of the world could see this, and wish there is a bridge that could connect for these students to share their talent, you know, to the rest of the world.
One of the things I always yearned was the nurturing of professional musicians. You know, we would listen on the radio and hear all of this great music and hear these wonderful musicians. One, I didn't know who they were, and two, I didn't have access to them. It's not like you live in Florida and somebody comes to town and you could drive an hour and hear them play. It was always a challenge here in the Virgin Islands to have access to these professional musicians. And once I left the Virgin Islands, I went to college, I was able to have access to these musicians. So one of my goals were to be able to create some type of format, be able to come back home to the Virgin Islands and create a format where the young talent, the young musicians, the young lions, as they call these days, would be able to have access to those type of musicians. And being here now, the director of music at the University of the Virgin Islands, and also the president of United Jazz Foundation, the partnership that we've created with the Department of Education is to be able to pool our resources together and invite those quality musicians here. Now, this week we've been lucky to have the Warp Trio, and they're brought here sponsored by the Forum, and they're performing this weekend at the Prior Jolly Hall. Now, they're classical musicians, but they're musicians, and they're very versatile in a lot of different respects. So it's interesting to see them work with the jazz ensemble here at the University of the Virgin Islands, that to put their classical training in the context of chamber music or traditional music, because jazz, now being American classical music, is a traditional form of American music. So even if you study Bach, you can still take some of those concepts and transfer them over to our to jazz music. What I'm happy about is that the community of the Virgin Islands now start to embrace the concept of musicians, how should I say it, professional musicians from away coming in and being able to assist and nurture our kids. It's not just like, okay, this is my band and this is how I'm doing it. It's the concept of it takes a village to raise a child. Well, you know, the world is because of the internet and all of the other social media activities, the world has become the village. So I'm trying to introduce that to the Virgin Islands and make that a component where all of these great musicians, some of them are my friends, some of them I've played with, some of them I'm just meeting for the first time. And it's just wonderful to watch.